I wonder if you can just talk a little bit about why you wrote this part of the book and what you think the answer might be to that question about why the president has made all the wrong decisions around this crisis and done so little work to fix anything.
I thought it was very important to address this because, of course, it's ongoing. Even at the time I was writing, we were, I think in New York, we were past the worst of it, but it was clear that the rest of the country was not doing what it needed to do. I want people to understand what a failure of leadership this is, and the reason he's failing at it is because he's incapable of succeeding at it. It would have required taking responsibility, which would, in his mind, have meant admitting a mistake, which in his mind would be admitting weakness, which in my family was essentially punished with the death penalty, symbolically or otherwise. What I think we need to grapple with now is why so many people are continuing to allow this. The fact that he is dividing us at the expense of people's lives. I mean, what, we're 140,000 Americans and counting are dead. And the vast majority of those people did not need to lose their lives if only Donald had said, listen to the scientists, wear a mask, stay home. The fact that this is continuing, people are dying every day. There are states in this country that are absolutely out of control. And to curry favor with Donald, certain governors are continuing to ignore the science, and more people are getting sick and more people are going to die. It is utterly insane at this point. We need to wake up, and instead of taking it seriously, instead of standing aside and letting the experts take over, Donald is hawking black beans. It's, you know, it would be absurd if it weren't so devastating.
Your uncle, of course, has a very reasonable chance at winning a second term. Any incumbent president does, even one with sort of upside down numbers like he has right now. Mm-hmm. What do you think the consequences of another 4 years of a Donald Trump presidency would be? You write about that in the book as if you are genuinely fearful that a second term could be qualitatively more dangerous for the country than his first term was.
Yeah, and I want to make something really clear. This is beyond partisanship. This is so beyond party. We need to be thinking about this as Americans. We need to be thinking about who we want to be as a people going forward. I hear people say all the time, this is not who we are. This is exactly who we are right now. So continuing along this path, which is exactly what would happen if Donald were to be elected in 2020, would, I absolutely believe, be the end of the American experiment. I do not believe there's any coming back from this. There are too many enablers who are, for whatever reason, continuing to enable him. Bill Barr has gutted the Justice Department. Mike Pompeo has gutted the State Department. We are in serious, serious danger here. And unfortunately, that is no longer hyperbolic. That's just the way it is.
Do you share the concerns that some people have voiced that if your uncle loses the election, that he might try to not leave the White House, that he might try to hold on to power through some extra democratic means by force? Do you think that that sort of worry is hyperbolic at this point, or is that the sort of thing that you're concerned he might resort to?
No, I think it's perfectly reasonable to worry about that. But how he responds depends a lot on how, if he loses, how badly he loses. I think the more resounding Joe Biden victory, the less likely it is for Donald to stick around. He, as a somebody who needs to be right all the time and needs to be winning all the time will need desperately to spin away from a crushing defeat. And I don't know what form that would take, but that, as far as I'm concerned, is the only way to not guarantee, but at least give us a better possibility that there will be a peaceful transition after the election on November 3rd.